We are all products of our times, and Schopenhauer is no exception. But I believe that he was mostly right about women, and he's actually not saying such bad things about them. First of all, his point is that they can be fickle, which is true, because that's what we need in order to survive. I remember when I was like 24, I read almost everything he wrote. It's not like a severe critique of women. For example, he says that even you shouldn't give too much money to a woman, because she is very likely to squander it just for things that only satisfy her vanity, and then to starve or live on a very low budget. Of course, there are exceptions, and we see feminine traits in women and vice versa, but on a large scale, that's true. Another dimension of his view on women is that we shouldn't idealize them, and that they are not as innocent and angelic as we are led to believe in our society. It doesn't mean they're evil either, but they are more cunning and shrewd, and they can manipulate you easily, because they haven't been blessed with physical strength, so they have to use their intelligence. It's not that I'm criticizing them. We can see examples of this even in our Bible stories. The female nature is more subtle and devious, and we also have to take that into account. Another thing to remember is the fact that Schopenhauer, had a terrible mom who brought one of her lovers into their home. I think 2 weeks after his father committed suicide. She wasn't the best wife, and she wasn't excelling at being a mother too. We read his biography, on Wikipedia, that his relationship with him was tumultuous. He didn't acknowledge his talent. He was reported to say that even after I'm dead, they will still hail me as a great writer, but your novels will be forgotten after you die. And that was the case, because she was writing romance novels, and nobody thinks about her, and nobody remembers her outside the fame of his son. Of course, there are exceptions. My mother is different, but that also influenced him. I also remember that I read somewhere that one of the women that he dated for about 1 year, an opera singer asked him to get married, and he had to put an end to it, saying that, what should I put my hand into a bag full of snakes, hoping that I'll find some flowers there, or something similar. I don't remember the exact quote. He was a fierce advocate against marriage, and we can understand why. However, when it comes to women, he also gives them due credit and says that they adapt easily, and it's actually useful to ask them for advice when you need to do a practical decision, because they are more down to earth, because they have to bear children and care for their survival, and their body is also more whimsical, so to speak. So he gives them credit that if you feel discombobulated and you don't know what practical decision to make, a woman could give you directions. Of course, we shouldn't take him too seriously, but he was right on the most part. And as I said previously, he was also a product of his time and his childhood, and he never got along with his mom, so that has had an impact on his opinions. I remember an anecdote concerning the tendency that certain representatives of the beautiful sex have to waste money. And I remember that last year I went to a club and we met a guy who had to go to Canada to work as a truck driver so he could support his family, and who kind of complained about his pitiful fate as a husband. And so at a certain point he began to tell us a story of how they went to Romania, to Bucharest, I think. He had his serious stuff to do, and to register his car or something, I don't remember, but it was something very important. And she saw a shop and went there and spent 1,000 euros. And I don't know where you live, perhaps in America that's not a big amount of money, but here it is. Our average salary, a good, relatively good salary, is about $600. She spent 1,000 euro just on unimportant things that made her feel good, on shopping. And the funny thing is that after she did the before he told her, well, like, we can't spend like so much, like I have to fix my car and it's very important, and I have to do this or that or pay for my insurance. And she told him, I don't give a fuck about what you have to do. I don't give a fuck. Of course, these are exceptional cases, but generally it's more likely to encounter such type of behavior in women. That's my belief. I might be wrong, and I might sound as a misogynist, but that's the way I think, and that's what I observe largely. And again, there are exceptions, but they only confirm the rule. So, yeah, thank you for watching, and it's good to wake up, from this and accept that women are the way they are, and not some images, not devils or witches nor angels, because we all have to survive in this cruel world, so they have to do their best, and sometimes they might seem brutal on a psychological level, and they are, and vengeful, but that's the charm of life, It's something similar to when you are admiring a wild, fierce, feral beast, It's beautiful like a tiger, but it's also dangerous, and that's and that lies its uniqueness, and life is full of opposites, and men can be bipolar too, it's but on generally that's that's how I view women. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.